Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning for some, afternoon
Welcome
for
to
others.
tribe.
Hello. Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Revelicious in the house.
Shut.
Coming to you live
Shut.
on Vibe
Shut
TV.
up.
The VI.
Jake, what's up, dude? How are you, man? Welcome in. Thank you. Liam, welcome in.
What's up?
Coach, how are you? Dink, how are you? Welcome in, guys. How did your guys' weeks go?
It was going really well, and now somehow I ended up over here. So
Stop it.
yeah,
Don't lie to me.
With swamp ass.
Derpy, yeah, and you got swamp ass right now. You got some swamp ass right now.
It's completely swampy.
Some swamp ass. Liam, dude, I'm gonna make, when I design merch, I'm gonna have a quote on the back of my merch that just says, "God damn it, Liam." That's all it's gonna say. Because some of the shit you say, dude. Derpy, have you seen it already?
Well, England and Europe.
it premiered in a couple places, even in the U.S. too. I'm pretty sure.
It premiered in places already? Son of a bitch.
Well,
Yeah, like early access. I guess.
not
something
like I'm
that.
going to see it anytime soon.
I'm seeing
Yeah, me
it
neither.
tomorrow, Derpy. I'm seeing it tomorrow at 3 p.m. CST. The only real time zone.
In your mind.
Here we go.
You saw the
Ever
IMAX
heard of-
fan event? Oh my god. Jesus.
The East Coast bias is strong.
It is. It is.
It is correct. The East Coast bias is correct.
No, I'm going to apologize in advance. I already apologized to you guys beforehand. I'm apologize to those of you in chat. I will be muting quite a bit because I am coughing a fuck ton right now. Also, does that work for you guys? You guys see the chat up here? Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, it's better.
Good one, Dink. Good one. Hold on. Does this still work? It does.
I'm coming.
Do not come.
Oh, sorry. So, what I wanted to talk about today, guys, is actually something. It's actually something we've all been wanting to talk about for a while. Mainly me and Coach, because
Somebody is
Dink
lazy.
decided to wait
Lazy.
and watch
It's not-
it.
It's called having discipline, bro.
Dink
It's called-
decided.
Yeah.
Dink decided to wait to watch the Book of Boba Fett until it was all out so he could binge it.
Dude, do you know like how badly I want to watch Attack on Titan or Demon Slayer? But I'm waiting for it to finish so I could watch it with you guys.
I don't. I would love. I don't have the self control to do that. I wish I did. I just don't. And it's. I just wish I did. It's also because Mrs. Revan loves watching it with me. Oh my god.
What the hell are you doing, Dink?
He typed in chat, redeemed to open a can of Chef Boyardee for 69k Vibe Tribunals.
Yeah. It's my favorite TikTok ever.
Also, I don't know. Have you haven't been in like stream at all when this one's played, Dink? Have you heard this one?
Yeah, dude, Rebels is dope.
I haven't
Rose is
watched
that good
Twitch
shit,
since
for sure.
like Sunday.
I have that Rebels command that people play in my stream every now and then. And
Yeah, I don't know if I'm watching that. Show
You're going to watch that
ever.
with me. You're gonna watch that with me.
You will watch it.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
I'll join in Discord and I'll just leave my computer and just go out and do other stuff. I'll
Hey,
look up a Spark Notes or something.
Stealthier,
Yeah.
thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome in. Honored to have you here. Thank you
To
for that follow.
22X, the Vibe Tribe, to give you all the sounds of right there your nose.
Welcome in, Stealthier. Soulless, look at your beautiful face. Look at your beautiful face. Thank you for being here. So, let's just jump right into it. Dink. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of the show?
Worst show I've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was great, man. Honestly, I don't know why. I literally have nothing negative to say. Literally nothing. Thought it did everything it was supposed to do. It was good. You know, it wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. It was just, okay, this is a cool show. We got with some pretty cool characters, and they're gonna do some badass shit. And then
Right.
they did, and that was it. You know, like I literally like, you know, it was good. Like I don't know where the complaints are. I really don't.
Well, here's a question we have for I have for Dick Delicious. What of Legends do you know, and what of Legends don't you know?
Like, what do you mean, like specifically, like what?
So specifically, Legends in general, because there's a lot of Legends stories out there of Boba that is completely opposite from what people saw.
Oh,
in
okay.
Book of Boba.
So about Boba
that
specifically, I don't know jack shit about Boba specifically, but as a show, like, you know, just watching it as a viewer, I thought it was really good. You know, what are you saying? Like maybe people had like expectations that it was going to be an adaptation of some sort of Legends, like lore or whatever.
Well, they're all adaptations of Legends lore because Filoni is a connoisseur of that stuff.
Okay.
He takes bits and pieces from it. A lot of the complaints are Boba's not badass enough. He's soft. He smiles too much, and now you see a lot of the TikTok trenders on the toxic Star Wars fans that say, "Why are they spinning to shoot?" or "Why are they doing unnecessary spins?" I'm like, because it's a freaking TV show, bro. Who gives a shit whether that's not tactically accurate if he spins away from the opposite side and then shoots a guy down from, 40 or 50 yards away aiming up? Like, it's not supposed to make sense.
Well,
it's supposed to be good quality.
It's
shit.
what's the director's name? Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez.
It's Joe, right?
It's a Robert Rodriguez style thing. But here's the thing, Liam. I understand what you're saying, but what was wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with the spin, in my opinion. It was a Robert Rodriguez type thing. It was an action type thing. It was, yeah, it's good. I mean, have you seen Spy Kids? Have either of you guys seen Spy Kids?
I don't watch that stuff.
I've seen it.
Have you guys in chat seen, those of you in chat that have seen Spy Kids, that was Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez made Spy Kids.
Robert Rodriguez also made a couple of the best.
I enjoyed Spy Kids as a kid.
I love Spy Kids.
Of Mando. Didn't he do
Yeah.
the one where they broke into the Imperial base and then flew off with Boba Fett?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that was
No,
one of the best ones.
I love Spy Kids, but you can't deny the fact if you go back and watch Spy Kids as an adult, there's some cringy shit in Spy Kids because it's just Rodriguez's style. That's just how he films. So it's like I don't mind the spin. People bitching and moaning about the mods. People complaining about the mods and their motorcycles.
The modders and the motorcycles and the colors. But if you do some research,
nothing.
The colors are an homage to George Lucas's original, one of his original movies. The what's it called? It eludes me right now.
I know what you're talking about. I can't
American
think of it either.
Graffiti.
Yes.
American Graffiti.
Yes.
It's an homage to American Graffiti, but because people don't understand that that's a thing.
Yo,
they need to get over it.
Sarah Tana with the raid. Welcome in,
Let's
Raiders.
go.
Sarah, I was in there vibing and chilling out in your stream for a little bit while you were playing. I saw you kind of clutch up in a cool moment. How'd the games go on Apex? Welcome in, everybody. We're finally sitting down. Me and Coach are finally sitting down to talk the Book of Boba Fett with Dink because Dink was cool and was patient and decided to wait till it all came out and binged it. So we had to wait for him to get done, and now we can finally talk about it. So we're actually giving our full review of the show. We're going to go from episode to episode, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Yeah, we're going to have some fun today and finally talk Star Wars. But yeah, I don't know.
As we get into the first portion of it, and I think DC said it when he did his review, it was the best part of the actual Boba story of him with the Tuskens, how he got out of the pit. And if you're a Legends person, and I actually read this book on how Boba escaped the Sarlacc pit, it's not that completely different, other than the person or people that found him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's still him growing. You know, I believe it wasn't Bosk, it was Dengar or somebody. I don't remember.
Right. Well, and Stealthier said it just now. Like, there's some cheesy stuff in it, and it's like, again,
Oh yeah,
that's Robert Rodriguez. Like the bike chase scene. My only gripe about that was it definitely looked like the CG and the special effects were a little lazy on it, but also when you get to the end of the show, you'll understand why some of the special effects and stuff was not really up to snuff at the beginning of the show. But the ultimate goal is, like, I mean, when you go back, what do people describe Star Wars as? What kind of genre is Star Wars? Do either of you guys know?
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi is the broad term, but people, George Lucas called it a space opera.
Yeah.
Space opera is incredibly over the top and cringy. Like, opera is cringy and over the top. I love opera. It's over the top and cringy. He calls it a space opera. And it's just, I don't know. So here's my broad review of the show is I really enjoyed the show. Revan, we do. The other Revan I met a couple of streams ago. I believe we met in DC stream. The other Revan. Oh, yeah, because DC was going to make us fight to the death for the use of Revan.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Maybe he can punch your nose back to the opposite direction.
We were doing so well.
Yes.
We were doing so well. Don't clip it. We were doing so
Clip
well.
It. Liam, clip it.
Ugh. God damn it. Damn. Naya, don't encourage him, Naya. Revan, good to see you in here, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate Raiders for stopping by. Sarah, thank you again for that. That was awesome. I'm glad the games went well. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Technical difficulties suck. We've all been there.
Swallow.
And
Wow.
you're not supposed to tell people that, Dink. I told you that in confidence.
All right, spitters are quitters anyways.
Revan, I'm good, man. I'm good. We're all good. We're just talking Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett show overall was better than Mando in your opinion? Ooh.
That is a hot take.
That is a hot take. Really?
It's better than season 1, not better than season 2.
Hey, can someone untime out Naya? Stream Elements is getting greedy. Oh, we put a clip, that's why. Say what you said again, Coach. Say what you said?
I forgot.
Dink, what'd you say? You said you agreed with that take?
I agree. Yeah.
Really? Why? Explain.
Yeah. I gotta rewatch Mando to be able to like back up my point, but just from like an overall impression, I'm leaving this show, at least this first season, more satisfied than I was with Mando.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like I felt like a lot of the the arcs or like storylines were just a little slow for me in Mando. I don't know. I mean, it was still really good, but relative to Boba, I thought the pacing was really well done. I was never bored watching it.
Right.
Like,
which
I watched the whole
season,
show. No, I'm talking about Book of Boba right now. I was never bored watching
Book
it.
of Boba, but you said it was better than...
Are you comparing it to Mando as a whole?
Yeah, Mando as a whole.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I look at it more along the lines of... The problem I wouldn't say problem. The thing that bugged me about Mando Season 1 was it just... Once you got the reveal of Grogu, then it was just go from planet to planet doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Until you got into the actual good part of the season, you actually push towards the next season 2. I don't think Book of Boba season 1 is better than Mando season 2. There's so much in Mando season 2 that I adore.
Maybe you're right.
Love.
I gotta rewatch it.
So,
and that's why I think there's some misses in Book of Boba season 1, but I do think it's just setting up the grander scheme of what this universe is beyond Mando.
right. So, my ultimate overall take on... So, I like Boba Fett Season 1 better than Mando Season 1, because Mando Season 1 to me was a lot like a comic book. Filoni and them, they made it a lot like a comic book, where you had the Grogu reveal in episode 1, and then, like Coach said, it was bouncing from planet to planet, doing mission by mission. It was almost like an open world video game where you pick up side quests and you go and do them. That was, to me, of the first season of Mando. I love the first season of Mando. Don't get me wrong. Like, I put Boba and first season of Mando are kind of like neck and neck, but I give the edge to Boba because I think, to me, and I like what you said in there, Dink. Recency bias could have a bit to play in it for me, but where I rank it and where I see Book of Boba Fett for me was incredibly intoxicating. The story was crazy. Like, I really liked how the story grabbed me and kind of pulled me in because it was an interesting story. I did not think it was better than Mando Season 2. For the same reasons you said, I still think Mando Season 2 is some of the best Star Wars we've ever seen. Ever. And that's me. That's coming from me, a huge prequel trilogy fan, minus episode 2. I think each trilogy has its bad movie. And I think, to me, Mando Season 2 is some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. Now, that being said, people, and it's like, I understand, Solus, what you were saying about the Luke and the Mando stuff in the Book of Boba Fett. I look at what they did with that. I was a little bothered at first as well. I can't say that I wasn't. I look at what they did with Luke and Mando and Ahsoka in Boba Fett as the Book of Boba Fett is still just a singular chapter in the book of the Filoniverse. So he was just continuing to build. They know Boba Fett, the Boba Fett show, is not going to be what their universe hinges on. Their universe is hinging on Grogu, and who is Grogu's companionship with right now? Mando. So their whole thing, everything they're planning to do, hinges on Mando. So you can't have another show. Mando's going to be in every show. He's going to make an appearance in every show. He's the Stan Lee of Star Wars right now.
I do think, as correct as you might be, I don't think that they can afford in Ahsoka to use a freaking 2-episode arc to bring Mando in.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Minus Ahsoka. Ahsoka's going to be the bridge. It's going to be Mando and Ahsoka. Sorry, I should have clarified.
Plus, I look at it like, honestly, I don't think everything's going to revolve around Mando. I think it's going to revolve around Grogu, but at the same time, I think that the Mandalorian series is just the catalyst for
What's up,
the
Master?
other series. You're going to get more series of. You're going to get Ahsoka. You're going to get probably Rebels Part 2 after Ahsoka. Because now you're going to introduce Hera. You're going to introduce, Sabine.
Yep.
Ezra. Freaking Thrawn, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Give me Thrawn. Like, right now, I'm listening to the second book of Thrawn Ascendancy.
Uh-huh.
I freaking love those books.
Yeah. So, the other thing, too, is, again, just kind of the overall prospect of the Book of Boba Fett before we kind of get into the specific things we liked. Because, again, I want to hear more from Dink about some of the stuff that he liked. Because, Coach, you and I have talked about it a little bit, but I want to hear some of the surprises and stuff that Dink had. But ultimately, I really did like the Book of Boba Fett. I thought there were some really cool things they did, and also I thought there were some things that they did miss on. But ultimately, as I said, I think it's just one chapter in the Book of Filoni that he's planning to put together. And still, no one knows what he's planning to do yet. No one knows where this is going to go. But Dink, what were some like surprises? What were some things that I was waiting for you to watch the last 3 episodes because I wanted to get your opinion on the finales and stuff like that.
When I saw Cad Bane, I was like, that's motherfucking Cad Bane, bro. And his face, dude, like I don't even know what to describe it, like a grimace, a snarl, I don't know what it, but like his looking at his mouth, what of like a fearsome, like.
They made him terrifying.
He is like more intimidating than like a Sith Lord looking at him, you know. And I remember him in Clone Wars, like he was a cool dude, but like in freaking in this show, he was like, you know, it's like whoa, it's like. And I remember from that moment on, like I was just like Liam could tell you this, and Solus could tell you this, and even Stealthier. Like we did a watch party. I was just yelling in the all caps in the Discord chat. I was like, "Let's fucking go, dude!" Because the final fight scenes, I loved it. It was awesome. It was so badass.
Did you think Cad was gonna show up?
No, I didn't expect. Well, I think I heard something about it. Like it got spoiled for me, and then I forgot. And then as soon as I saw that island, I'm like, "That's Cad Bane."
Yes.
I don't know if
the spoilers.
Ranger is dead though. I don't.
Yeah, he's not dead.
No, Cobb's not dead.
Okay.
There's a couple
I hated that deputy. Okay, that's the one thing.
He deserved to die.
That guy was a dumb motherfucker. You did not listen to your freaking your sheriff.
He caused Cobb to get shot.
Yeah. He's a liability. He should not have been sworn in as a deputy.
I don't think Cad Bane was going to kill Cobb to begin with.
No.
I think he was just going to maim him like he did.
Well, yep. I bet that he had a chance against Cad Bane, but he just, you know, his friend.
Hey, here's the thing, though.
Fucked him up.
We have to go back and look. Do you think he would have outdrew Cad Bane?
Yes. I think he had a chance.
Really? Because the Hunter didn't even outdraw Cad Bane.
Well,
who?
Hunter in Bad Batch. And the
Hunter's
dude is
Hunter,
but he's also not, like
Hunter is not.
He has enhanced abilities.
No,
he has enhanced abilities.
Hunter.
He's enhanced to be faster and quicker.
He ain't this.
Boba is alpha. Boba is alpha. Alpha and Omega.
I don't know. I don't know if Cobb would have. I don't know if Cobb would have outdrew him.
I think he had a very, very decent chance. But you know his deputy was distracting him, and
it caused him to take his eyes off him.
Notice how Cad Bane shot him first, and then he shot the deputy because he knew that he was a threat. And then he took care of the deputy.
Just nicked him.
Shot him in the shoulder.
And I still want to know why they were compressing on his chest when he got shot in the shoulder. It bothered me when I saw it because
they're all just farmers.
The military knows that if you get shot in the shoulder, you don't compress the goddamn stomach.
What does that have anything to do with your shoulder? That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Is Cad Bane dead?
No.
I think he is.
Why would they zoom in on him in that last shot and show the red light flashing on his chest? Because do you know what that was connected to?
No, I don't know.
That red light is connected to his breather on his back that causes the air to flow into the tubes that go into his neck. Because he has those.
Still alive even though he got stabbed?
Well, do you know why he has those tubes? Do you know what those are for?
So a Jedi cannot force choke.
He can't get force choked.
Really?
Yeah, he literally artificially modded himself to breathe through these tubes so he can't be force choked.
What if they just choke the tubes?
Why are you stop?
What if they just force crush the tubes?
It's a space opera. Stop.
What's the difference?
Well, you would have to have a pretty strong Jedi to be able to hone in on those tubes.
It's a tube.
To a neck.
It's a tube.
There are 2 people who could probably do that. 1, Vader. 2, Luke.
And like every other Jedi. It's a tube. It's like
not really. Each Jedi has its own individual trait.
This is why Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Oh my
God.
Oh my.
Delete
Get
him
out of here. Get him out of here. I think he's alive. I think Cad Bane's alive.
He's alive because you need the second showdown in season 2 with Cobb and Bane.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Cobb. With him being in the Bacta tank, I wonder what they're gonna do with him.
And you could also bring in the Bad Batch and have them do it with Bane. I'm so glad that they didn't throw Bad Batch in there, by the way, because
I really thought they were going to, dude. I really thought the Bad Batch were gonna be who it was. I really thought at least one of them, like Hunter or something, would show up.
Like the biggest thing that gets me excited for a season 2, season 3 is the fact that this opens the door for Kira and the whatever the Crimson Dawn or whatever.
Crimson Dawn, yeah, Syndicate.
The syndicate of her coming in. And she's and it's Disney, so they could get her in there to come back.
That was the biggest thing I thought they missed on. So I
think it's for next year. I don't think it's for this. It was never going to be for this series. It was going to be because this is just the first wave. Do you think these syndicates that are like stacked on top of each other aren't going to say, "Well, they didn't do it wrong because they didn't like just go in there and wreck them"?
Everyone keeps talking about the fact that like people don't think about it. Oh God, what were their names? The Pikes. The Pikes can't afford Cad Bane. And he just kept saying, "I work for the Syndicate." He never said specifically he works for the Pikes.
Well, if you remember,
the Pikes loaded?
I think the Pikes were still controlled by Maul, and Maul is part of the Crimson.
Stealthier? No, I don't think so. They are trying to distance themselves as far away from the sequel trilogy as much as I think they can right now.
No, I think they're trying to fix it.
I think they're trying to fix it. I think they're trying to distance themselves from it at the moment. Like, don't think about the sequel trilogy. We'll make you think about the sequel trilogy again when the time is right.
Yes, and it'll be 10, 11, 12 with Rey coming back with Finn.
Yeah. Well, I went back and I forgot. Someone had talked about the holiday special, the Lego holiday special with me. I forgot
It's great. Watch it.
I know, I love it. I forgot they made Finn, he was Jedi training with Rey in it. I forgot they did that.
Because they cut it out of 9 completely.
He was JJ's original plan was for him to be for Finn to be Force sensitive. So I do think they're gonna. This is all going to tie into the sequels. They're going to fix the sequels. They're gonna make them make sense, so on and so forth. Watch it, Solus. It's actually pretty good.
It's really good.
So they are, Liam. There's a rumor that they're working on a new sequel trilogy where Rey is the leader of a new Jedi Order. I think that is a bad idea to focus on that right now. That's got to be, you got to do what you're doing with Filoni and Favreau and get that done and get that universe started, and then you can go back into that stuff. I think it's way too early to go into that again. Like, people just don't want it now.
You have to bridge it. I mean, you have to bridge what's going on. Because at some point, you're going to have the young Kylo Chronicles or the young Solo Chronicles, you know?
Yeah.
That can be an option. Like, you can cast a young Ben Solo in the aspect of training.
I'm surprisingly like shocked that they didn't have like a little tease at the end of Boba season 1 where like a de-aged Han brought Ben to Luke on the planet. Like, I was actually kind of surprised they didn't do that because there were rumors that they were going to do that.
5 years. If I remember what I read and what I took from it is that Ben didn't go to train until he was more towards 10 or 11. So that would give him another 5 years.
Yeah. The time, I agree with you. The biggest mistake they made was it should have been Ben who lived, man, at the end of those movies. It should have been Ben who survived instead of Rey, but
why couldn't it have been both of them?
Yeah, or both. I guess that's the point.
Because if you're good, if this was the original plan, was to push into a kind of not original Skywalker storyline. Why would you do it with only one of the people? And Ben Solo, Kylo Ren is the best character in the sequel trilogy. As much as I like Rey,
he is.
He was a better sussed out, better acted, better received character, hands down. If like to me, the sequels is all about Kylo.
It's his story.
I mean, there's a reason why I've got that helmet, and I've dressed up with him as Halloween a couple of times, and I do TikToks as him. It's a great character. I do think there were some misses, but at the same time, ultimately, everybody that hates, just like hates on shit and hates on Star Wars, because it wasn't what they thought it was. Like one of our favorite YouTubers' theory. Just enjoy it for what it is. You can like things, you can unlike things, or not like things. There are 7 seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I do not like every stinking episode. You can
That's
have
fair. Some of them
episodes.
are pretty slow, but overall, it's
Yep.
best piece of Star Wars media overall.
Yeah.
Way better than Rebels.
Well,
Not
you
even close.
can't.
You have
even-
to watch
can't make that
Rebels, bro.
comparison.
I saw the first season. It was
That
ass.
no, it was not.
You gotta make a good first impression. Horrible first impression.
If you go back and watch the original movie of Clone Wars, when it came out, it was a not great movie.
I
Also-
introduced
I
Ahsoka.
enjoyed
The
it.
first-
Everybody hated Ahsoka.
I will say this: if you watch the
There was
first
one
season of
character.
Clone Wars, like episode for episode, the first season of Clone Wars is not good.
I disagree. I think
The
it's
entire
infinitely
season,
better.
Ahsoka is
Infinitely better
the
than-
most
than,
annoying piece of
okay.
Star Wars content
Yeah,
ever made.
And you love to hate her, and the rest of the show, there's nothing wrong with. With Rebels,
I can make the
it's
exact
an
same
entire-
argument for
No, no,
you
no, no,
with
no.
Rebels.
In Rebels, the entire show is filled with characters that I could not give 2 jack shits about, with the exception of Darth Maul,
Ding.
Darth Vader,
You also-
Ahsoka, and Darth Maul, and I could just watch.
But you
like
haven't-
5 minutes worth of clips of them in the show,
You
and the rest of the
can't.
show I don't need to watch
You
because it's a
can't.
waste of my time.
The entirety of that story of that show is centered around what they do with Thrawn in the later seasons.
Well, I don't care about Thrawn either.
Well, no. Okay, so
Oh my goodness gracious!
if you tear down the fact that you thought season 1 was slow, it was slow. But what is
The point is exactly the point is to hook children.
Just like Book of Boba season 1, just like Mando season 1, they had some good things. Like Clone Wars season 1 had some great things. Clone Wars season 1 had a lot of garbage. If it wasn't for that one Yoda arc where he went to Trandosha, like that season was not great. Because everybody hated Ahsoka, just like everybody hated Jar Jar, just like everybody hates whatever. And in 10 or 15 years, when those kids that loved that movie grow up, all of a sudden, no one hates it anymore. So when you go into Rebels, you saw first season. You didn't get into the second season and get to see the growth of a
I
character
was
like
bored
Ezra.
out of my mind. It was torturous to watch it. I want those hours back of my life.
A guy like Ezra, his relationship with Kanan, and Ezra's relationship with Zeb, that was my favorite connection in not the Jedi connection. It was Ezra and Zeb going back and forth, and Chopper being an antagonist, being a jackass between all of them, and then the love story between Hera and Kanan, like. As you continue into season 2 and season 3, you really see that growth, and that's where I got hooked because I fell in love with Zeb because Zeb's probably next to Chopper the best character on that series for my taste. But it's more of a built-up thing, I can't go watch season 1 of Clone Wars the same way as I can watch this. And I feel the same way about the first season of Rebels. I don't like it, but I'll watch the second, third, and fourth seasons of all of them.
I think I've seen the first season of Clone Wars like twice. I think I saw the whole show twice.
Dink, do you like the original trilogy?
I think it's incredibly overrated. I think it's really overrated.
Okay, that
It's awful
explains
campy.
that explains your thinking here. So, I understand where you're coming from, the whole idea of blaster characters, but you've also seen one season of the character progression of that show. There's 4 seasons of character progression in that show.
I've seen some clips from the other seasons, and
saying you've seen some clips from the other season
I saw the
is
good
like
stuff.
saying, yeah, I read 2
fights.
pages in 3 worth of 3 chapters of a book, and it's like, yeah, it was, great. Didn't like it.
The Mandalorian arc with the black saber and Sabine, like,
Gives the whole premise behind the dark saber.
I mean, it started in Clone Wars, but
They flesh it out in Rebels.
Yeah. And they're fleshing it out in Book of Boba, you know.
He's just doing this now to just fuck with me. I know he's doing it now to just fuck with me at this point. I can see the fucking little shit-eating grin on his face right now. I feel like you two have fucking convoluted about this shit in the fucking background. Oh, now you're trying to hide it? Okay. So, real quick, because I want to get back to it. The biggest thing I think Book of Boba Fett actually missed on, because I think this ties into some of the other stuff, is Kira. I wanted her to be in that show so fucking bad at the end.
Who?
Kira from Solo.
Who?
You watch Solo?
Yeah, I don't remember anyone's names.
Kira
was that, like his girlfriend.
Kira was his girlfriend, yeah, the one that was working for Maul at the end of Solo.
Who was the actress again?
Shit, what's her name?
Game of Thrones girl.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh.
Yeah. So
yeah.
she
Solo is the best Star Wars movie, I think, besides Episode 3.
Solo doesn't. Time.
You're such a troll.
I'm dead ass.
I like Solo.
You said, "Who's that?" when we say Kira, but you like saying,
Well, I haven't seen it recently.
Second best one since ever.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it,
Rogue One's dope too.
When I watched it, I had like literally 0 complaints. It had none of the issues that all the other every Star Wars movie has an issue with dialogue or it's usually dialogue or shitty act.
I enjoy Solo. I like Solo a lot.
Ron
Sometimes it's both.
freaking Howard, baby.
And
Ron Howard came in
is
and
amazing
fixed that.
actor. I mean, amazing director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was no dialogue problems. There was no shitty, there's no shitty acting. Perfect, amazing movie. It was great. It's a great movie. Like,
and that's why I think Ron Howard should direct the.
You're just saying that because you're like jerking off. You're just jerking off Harrison Ford. That's what...
I disagree with you, Time. I think that actor did as good a job as he could do.
I think he might have. If you traded places with him and Harrison Ford, and he went in a time machine, you'd be saying the same thing. If Harrison Ford came in as a young, trying to fill in the shoes. I thought he did an incredible
people complaining about the actor too. It kind of surprised. Like, I'm not saying like you're wrong to think that way, Time. You can have that opinion. But where I'm like surprised people say that is, if I'm curious if people actually know that that Harrison Ford actually picked him out. Like, Harrison actually picked him for the role. They brought Harrison in to make the decision on who was supposed to play him in the Solo movie. So, here's the thing. I like Solo. I really do. I wanted Kira from Solo to be in this. Have you guys read what George Lucas was originally going to do with his sequel trilogy?
No.
He was going to bring back Maul.
The GOAT.
Maul was going to be the main villain of the sequel trilogy, and it was going to be him and his apprentice was going to be Darth Talon.
That would have been infinitely better than
I agree.
The shit that we got.
I think they can still do that with the stories they are currently doing. And what I mean by that is Kira is not force sensitive, so she can't be yeah, because he went up against one of the greatest Jedis ever. Unbelievable. My God. Dude, oh my God, you don't even know, dude.
He did the same pose he did before. It
has nothing to do with the pose. It has everything to do with the fact that the dude has spent, 10 years at that point? Almost 10 years at that point? Not only training with Yoda, but training with Qui-Gon. And he's been doing nothing but mastering saber techniques. And what has Maul been doing? Running a criminal underworld criminal syndicate? All Obi-Wan's been doing is mastering his power in the Force. And he straight up bodied Maul.
Yeah,
Embarrassed his ass.
It was no.
Obi-Wan is the
Horrible
GOAT, dude. You don't even know. You're gonna learn.
Know he's the GOAT, but
we're gonna learn so much in his show.
Yeah.
And that's going to tie into. Actually, does it take place before Rebels? How far after Episode 3 did Rebels take place, Coach? Do you remember? Because Obi-Wan takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. 5? No, 10. Sorry, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So Luke and Leia are going to be 10.
It's going to be before.
Rebels is going to be before? Okay. Rebels is before.
Luke, if you remember the scene where Obi-Wan bodies freaking Maul, they do show Luke running to the Lars
scene.
The Lars homestead, and he looked to be about 9 or 10.
Right. Rebels is 4 years before A New Hope. That would mean Luke would have to be 14. Because Luke is 18 in New Hope. I don't know. There's no shot that Luke was 14 in that scene.
It had to be.
Yeah,
Star Wars Rebels 5 BBY.
That doesn't help me. I don't know what year.
Epilogue or 4 after Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, this is like another language to me.
Yeah. So again, I think, and I understand what you're saying. Top 10, and Obi-Wan is top 3 in Jedi.
Okay,
so,
but it's not like he shouldn't be just. There should have been like some form of a fight. I think that they did him dirty. They always fuck Maul over in every single show, every movie. They fuck him over. He's supposed to be such a skilled Sith Lord, and he just gets fucked everywhere he goes. Like, but it's like, oh, I survive, and then he'll just get fucked somewhere else. I hate it. It's my favorite character, and they just fuck him over every time.
And you haven't seen any of his good shit in Rebels.
Okay, well then he shouldn't be getting fucked over by Obi-Wan then if he's doing
He
all this
should!
shit.
They're showing how strong Obi-Wan is, dude.
No, bro.
Obi-Wan is the fucking GOAT.
There should have been a fight scene, bro.
It says it's 5 years to 0 years before the Battle of Yavin.
See, Liam, exactly, Liam. I agree. Whoever directed that episode, he should be fired.
Yeah.
They should sue him.
It'd be Dave Filoni.
Okay, yeah, well, he fucked up there. Replace him with Liam. Liam could do a better job.
What they can do though here is for with Kira and the Mandoverse and whatever, they can easily continue what what George Lucas wanted to do, and because Kira's not Force sensitive, Maul easily during the time of Solo could have had an apprentice, and he could have had Darth Talon, so we could still see Darth Talon show up. We could have a Sith Lord. We could have a Darth Talon Sith Lord working with Kira, running Crimson Dawn. So I don't know, man. It's also, yeah, Obi-Wan would have bodied Vader if he wanted to actually kill him. That's
You
just
think so?
Yeah, I think so. He would have bodied Vader if he wanted to.
As an old fart.
If he wanted to body Vader, he would have.
I disagree.
You can look it up in an interview.
He wanted to die.
George Lucas stated at the time of Episode 4, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the most powerful Force-sensitive being in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He should have just killed him then.
But he wanted to become one with the Force for Luke.
Selfish bitch.
To be able to help. It wasn't selfish. It was for Luke. It was for Luke.
You know how many lives he could have saved if he just killed him right then and there?
You're not wrong, but the whole point was
That's selfish of him. I want to see Luke, yo. He could.
But also,
to kill his own
where
dad.
I was getting with that was it was also to save Anakin. The whole point was to try and save Anakin.
Just kill him. You could have just killed him.
Just kill him. Just kill him.
And then they could have double teamed Palps, Obi, and Luke.
I got a question for you. Then I got a question for you, Dink. It's hypothetical.
Okay.
Who would have won in a fight, and how would the fight have gone between Anakin and Maul?
When? At what time? Like what time period?
Episode 3. So had Maul not been a spider-legged guy around that time,
okay.
Had Maul been full strength, nothing happened to him. Had he been around for the entire trilogy, full power, Maul we see in Clone Wars fighting Anakin.
I feel like the most powerful Darth Maul is the one that killed Qui-Gon. That was before they turned him into a little bitch that just gets bodied by Padawans, which is absurd. But yeah, no, he would lose to Anakin because
how would it go?
He beat Count Dooku, and Count Dooku is more powerful than Darth Maul. So
who beat Anakin?
No, Count Dooku didn't beat Anakin.
No, who beat Anakin though?
Who beat Anakin? Obi-Wan, but that's only because
and turned him into sushi doing it.
Yeah, well, if Obi-Wan had a fight with Darth Maul in Episode 3, it would have been a pretty long ass fight, and it would have been, it would have been pretty close. He wouldn't have one shot at him. I'm not saying Maul shouldn't have lost to him in Rebels. I'm saying it shouldn't have been like, and he just.
But
that's not what he does.
Coach had said
you're still talking to 60, 55 to 60-year-old men at this point. They're not gonna do all flippy, twirly, kick your ass bullshit.
He did the flippy, and then he got killed. I'm just saying that shouldn't have happened.
But the bottom line is, with what Coach said though, where George Lucas had come out and said at the time of Episode 4, and leading, like obviously that was close in Rebels. Obi-Wan was the most powerful Force-sensitive being ever, and in the galaxy at the time. Vader existed. So Maul, I don't think would have really put up a fight at that moment because Maul had zero training. He wasn't doing anything. He was trying to capture Ezra and was doing all this extra shit with Ezra and stuff at the time. So he definitely, Maul is not what he used to be when he was his most powerful, like you just said.
I still don't think
Obi-Wan was
more of a fight.
Infinitely times more powerful than he was when he beat Anakin, who was the most powerful Force user at the time. So in a sense, Obi-Wan only got more powerful and Maul got less powerful over time.
I still don't think it would have been. He shouldn't have gotten one shot. That's like
that's fine.
Forgot how to use a lightsaber. Like no. He shouldn't have gotten one.
He didn't.
It should have been at least like a 5 to 10 minute fight.
Obi-Wan used his better.
It was to show you how much farther Obi-Wan was.
It could still show how far he is. Like he could be like dominating him for 5. Shouldn't be a one shot. I think that's really lame.
At that point,
it's like the same thing. Like when we see Snoke just get killed. After all the build up, it's like, oh well, we're just gonna kill him off. It's like literally the same thing.
If you see some of the comics, Obi-Wan's very hesitant to use his lightsaber on Tatooine. And having a long drawn-out fight is going to bring unwanted eyes to whatever they're doing in the middle of a desert, two guys playing laser
well, he doesn't get to decide because it shouldn't be that easy for him. It should have been a little bit.
It should be that easy because he was badass.
He was that powerful.
To me, that's more of a badass move than it is anything because Maul is this powerful mofo. And he just got one shot at by Obi. Like,
yeah, he shouldn't.
Take a D, baby, just like we used to in Battlefront.
But again, though, I'm like that's fine. I mean, I'm just using your logic. Like I know how much you love Maul, so I'm trying to change it. I'm just trying to tell you using your logic.
Agreeing. I think he should have lost, but I just don't see how he would get one shot. Like
right, but what I'm just trying to add to it is with your logic. In a sense, he easily could have been one-shotted because what Obi-Wan did in that moment, and I understand you're joking about the whole posing and everything like that, what he did was, what's one thing Maul constantly suffers from? His goddamn ego. He's got an ego. That's his biggest weakness. Each Sith Lord has a huge weakness, and Maul suffers from an overinflated ego. And what he did was he decided to go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stand like Qui-Gon and see if I can get him to open up. That's what boxers do all the time. When boxers are scouting out other fighters, if someone has a weakness compared to another fighter, they will use that same fighter's technique in the fight when they're going up against that other fighter. Obi-Wan knew the exact move Maul would do if he did the stance that Qui-Gon did. If he took the exact same stance and the exact same fighting style that Qui-Gon did, he knew exactly what Maul would do. And taking
I also think Maul wanted to kill him with the same move.
That's the ego thing. I love Maul. I'm not saying you're wrong in thinking that the fight should have been longer. I think a drawn out Obi-Wan Maul fight would have been fucking cinematic history. I still think that Maul Obi-Wan lightsaber one shot is still one of my favorite lightsaber things in Star Wars. It's not my favorite. It's one of my favorite because Obi-Wan being one of my favorite characters of all time, seeing him do that just goes to show why this Obi-Wan show is going to be fucking dope.
Oh, I'm excited
because the dude bodied Maul. And these
disrespectful.
And
disrespectful to Maul,
it's disrespectful, but that's the point. They wanted to disrespect him because that's
he gets shit on, bro. It's not.
Yes,
it's not.
Yes. Would it have been nice to see a fight? Yes, but it's not the point. The point was they wanted to show you how
just wanted to, as if the man hasn't suffered. They could show how far he's come in so many other shit on the legacy of Darth Maul, bro.
He did by one shot now.
Well, they shouldn't have. It's just ever since episode 1 of Phantom, been nothing but shot. They just shit on him. And you watch all these lore videos. Oh, Darth Maul could do this. Darth Maul could channel his anger, and he's just supposed to be one of the most fucked. He gets fucked. Like he gets almost killed by a who's like not even a Jedi Knight. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's absurd. He goes from getting double teamed by Qui-Gon and basically.
But
then his ego got the best.
I do want to
gets fucked.
I do want to agree with you for a second. I do think the fact that Ahsoka does beat him I thought it was a great, I still think that's one of the best lightsaber duels in Star Wars is the Ahsoka Maul fight in season 7 of Clone Wars. That fight is dope. There is no reason, in my opinion, she should have beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not, Anakin can beat Maul, Obi-Wan can beat Maul, Dooku could beat Maul, Yoda could beat Maul. We know the Jedi that can beat Maul. I was actually stunned that Ahsoka, I love Ahsoka, don't get me wrong. She's also one of my favorite characters, and that's the reason they did it. But at the same time, I think the way that should have gone is she should have lost, and the clones should have ambushed him and got him. Or she should have lost, and the same situation that he got caught in should have happened. Like, the glass should have broke, he should have fallen off the ledge after he beat her, and she catches him.
But she
should have beat him.
Maybe he let
Or he should have beat her. Huh?
Maybe he let her.
Why
but again,
because if you're a powerful Sith Lord, you've been meditating on all of these events, and he was trying to steer the events to get Anakin there.
I don't know. It looked like he was struggling after he got caught. He was like, "Oh, we gotta stop this event."
Here's why I won't say that. I see where you're coming from, Coach, but here's why I won't say that. And the only reason why is I want to believe that you're right, but my whole argument on Maul's biggest weakness being his ego, he wouldn't let her win.
But if it got him what he wanted, I think he would.
But I don't think it would have. She was so, and he knows how caught up in that shit that she is. She was willing to kill him because of what he said about Anakin. He knew in that moment there was no winning her over to that cause, especially with him. Had it been somebody else, maybe. But I think he knew in that moment there was no winning her over. And if him killing her would get Anakin to no longer be on Coruscant, that was probably his next best option, was to get Anakin away from Palpatine. And if get Ahsoka to his side was probably his first choice, killing her was probably the second option because it would have the same effect. It just wouldn't be. It would be him against Anakin instead of him and Ahsoka against Anakin, basically. I don't know. I all I know is the Maul character is there is still so much they can do with that character.
Well, they already killed him off, so.
I'm not meaning after Rebels. I'm saying pre-Rebels. Like they can still.
I'm holding out that they still might make a Solo too.
I hope so.
Maybe
they could redeem him. Redeem him.
I think that's going to be Lando. I think
Actually
Solo
make
2 is
him
going to be
do
the
stuff.
Lando series.
I think it's going to. If you're going to see what's his face in Chewbacca, so
I think it's going to be a buddy cop show.
And everybody's complaining about the guy that played Han in that. I was thrown off at first. Now I don't care. It's part of the thing. The thing that bothers me is Chewie hasn't been played the same since what's his face passed away. Chewie looks different. He walks different.
You should play Chewie.
I did. Thickum Chewies.
Thickums. Yeah, it's because they got a big ass
Thickums the
athlete.
Wookiee.
The gait's different. The demeanor's different. There was the one scene in episode 7 where they brought him in to sit down next to Rey, and that was Chewie. That his big blue eyes, like his look, his demeanor, his head tilt. I'm like, that's Chewie. The other guy, he's doing a great job, but it's still not Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, it's the Chewie. I think what they're going for. I agree with you. I think what they're going for with that is younger, more agile Chewie.
Yeah. I mean, the first time Peter Mayhew he was pretty athletic. He could move, but in his late 60s, 70s, he couldn't do much other than sit there. But that was like the most warm-hearting to me because I knew that was Peter Mayhew the second I saw him. All the other portions, I'm like, well, that's the new Gate. He's doing good, but that's not the warm. You feel that warm part in your heart when you see him. You're like, it's Chewie.
Yeah. Yeah. I just ultimately, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for the direction of Star Wars post Book of Boba Fett, or are you not excited?
Definitely. I think everything that they're making now is honestly better than the original movies, in my opinion. I get it, like the nostalgia and all that, but as far as from like the quality of the content being produced, if you separate the nostalgia and all, yes, started everything. If you could separate that, I think that literally on maybe in every possible way except for maybe the music, I feel like it's better, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I'm incredibly excited, and I know we've already kind of talked about like the Book of Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's coming out on May 25th, which I was stunned to learn. Did you guys know that is that the 40th anniversary? It's the 40th anniversary of when we first saw Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope. The exact date, 40-year anniversary. Yeah.
Episode 4.
Crazy.
1977.
But sorry, I'm excited for, there's rumors, and I know Dink and Coach, Dink more so because of Dink's disdain for Rebels. Unfounded disdain for Rebels, and Coach
gave it a chance. I watched a whole season's worth. Terrible.
They're apparently,
I could have stopped after the first episode.
They did some de-aged scenes with both Ewan and Hayden in the Obi-Wan series.
Okay.
It would make sense, and
I need some Clone Wars.
Honestly,
there better be goddamn Ahsoka in this
old,
bitch.
I need a young Ahsoka. I need young Anakin, Obi-Wan, Clone Wars scenes.
And good Ahsoka scenes. The one thing that tweaked me a little raw was the fact that we did not get to see the meeting of Ahsoka and Luke.
We will.
We better.
We will. I don't think they would. I really don't think they would take that from us. I think what Filoni did was say, hey, this is cool, right? Yeah, you didn't get to see them meeting, but don't worry, you will. I think we'll see it in her show.
Honestly, I feel like shouldn't Ahsoka look like twice as old as Luke? Because she looks like she's the same age.
I mean, it depends on her race.
In
I mean,
Mandalorian,
with her
I
alien
guess, I
race.
don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
She is
age as fast.
45.
The actress is 40-something years old, yeah.
He looks
She
good.
just looks good for her age.
Rosario Dawson looks very good for her age. And she's and she's got all that makeup on. It's like, it's just makes her,
It looks like
that
she's like
already
20
still
or
also
30.
makes her look younger. But no, Rosario Dawson is 45, 46.
Okay.
So I'm incredibly excited for the Obi-Wan show. I think we're going to see some young Ahsoka stuff. I'm excited for her show. I do think we will see her meet Luke because I need the reason why I don't think we saw it in Book of Boba Fett was because one, it is the Book of Boba Fett, and two, we will see her meet him in her show because when her show comes out, we will have already seen Hayden Christensen back, and I think it's going to be a Ahsoka meets Luke, and we're gonna get a Force Ghost Anakin scene. I think Hayden Christensen is back, as back. Like he'll be in her show a lot, like being kind of that Qui-Gon-esque guiding force for her. I think Hayden is back for.
It would bother me if I see a Force Ghost of Hayden.
Really?
When they cut it out of Episode 7, because Episode 7 was supposed to actually have a Force Ghost that was kind of half Anakin, half Vader.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
There was supposed to be a hint there, but because they didn't want to bring in the prequel, they didn't want to bring in Hayden, they didn't want to have that tie-in. They scrapped it.
Here's why I won't be mad about it. Because the people in charge of the sequel sucked. These are new people that actually know what they're doing. So that's why I don't think I'd be too mad about that. I agree with you, and I see where you're coming from, but I think the reason why I'd be able to distance myself from that is because the people that were in charge of the sequels were terrible, and the people that are in charge of what's going on right now know what they're doing.
And I don't want to see Ezra getting a visit from a Force Ghost from Anakin. I hope that they keep it in the standard tradition of you had to have a emotional connection with that being before they went to the Force, to be able to see them. Hearing them, I'm okay with. But seeing them, I think that you would have to have an emotional connection with them in order to actually see them manifest.
I agree with you. I don't think he'll show himself to Ezra. I think he would show himself to... I think it would all be for Ahsoka. I think he's going to, bother Ahsoka. With how often he'll show up and help her out because of who he is.
Here's something I want to see. I want to see Yoda. I want to see Yoda in the Obi-Wan.
I think
because he's alive, and him and Obi-Wan basically after the fall of all the Jedi, they're basically the survivors, right? And
do you know what the rumored storyline for the show is?
No.
So I think currently the most talked about rumor is they a young Princess Leia, 10 years old or so, because this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, is I can't remember what she's doing, but she gets captured, and I don't know if it's no one knows if it's by pirates or if she gets captured by the Inquisitors. No one knows who she gets captured by. But she gets captured, and basically Bail Organa reaches out to Obi-Wan and says, hey, this happened. It's putting some unwanted attention on Leia. We know what your whole goal is here. And basically, it causes Obi-Wan to leave world and go save Leia, basically.
I don't think he leaves world.
Oh, he has to. That's too much Tatooine, man. He's going to. Well, have you seen the concept art images?
Just a couple of them. I'm trying not to dive too far into it because I want to not necessarily stay away from spoilers, but keep it with a fresh mind on. I don't want to have expectations. I want to just watch it like I did Book of Boba. I didn't have any expectations that Boba was going to be a badass or not a badass or whatever it was going to be. But
I
agree.
I agree as well. I think the reason, and I was the same way, where I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna leave world because he's got to stay and protect Luke. Well, there in one of the concept art images, there were Inquisitors on Tatooine. So I'm not going to be surprised if this whole thing with Leia is true and Obi-Wan doesn't want to leave, but then Inquisitors show up and Obi-Wan leaves to lead them away from Tatooine.
Or is it the other way around? He goes and saves Leia, and the Inquisitors pick up on his trail and come to Tatooine to find him.
It could be. But I would believe that the only reason he would leave Tatooine is to keep Luke safe. Because Luke is his priority. And I feel like if the Inquisitors show up on Tatooine, because they're saying we might see a bunch of random Jedi that Inquisitors are chasing, and one Jedi shows up on Tatooine bringing the Inquisitors with. And Obi-Wan shows himself, gets into a fight, has to dip out, decides to go on that mission, save Leia, come back. That's kind of what they're saying. Do you want me to tell you the other concept art image I saw?
Sure.
Because this one gets me excited about who we could possibly see. What was the Inquisitorious place called in Jedi Fallen Order? Wasn't it just called the Inquisitorious or something like that?
Well, no, you had 9, and you had what was Trila 4?
Their like headquarters, the underwater headquarters. Yeah, there was a concept art of stormtroopers in an underwater headquarters.
Well, I thought that underwater thing was still Mustafar.
No, the underwater, I don't even know what planet the underwater world thing is on, but all I know is the place where Cal goes in the game, the underwater facility that he fights Vader in, it looks like it's in the concept art. So, I mean,
and that's the other thing. Do we see Cal?
I was about to get there. I want to see Cal in this show.
I want to see Cal in general in live action.
I want Cal to be the Jedi the Inquisitors are chasing.
It's not far out of reach, considering that he's just whooped some ass on the big fatty, the big thick one, and then
could explain why Peli has BD if he shows up to Tatooine.
I don't think that's BD. I just think that's.
I don't either. I want it to be, but I don't think it is either. I saw it and I was like, also, I think Liam's lurking right now, but can we talk about how Liam wants to see a flashback show of Peli dating a Jawa? I think that's weird.
Who?
Pelimoto?
And you wonder why I want to time him out all the time.
Do you remember that scene in Mando? Not Mando,
Yes.
Book of Boba Fett?
Yes.
You remember that, Dink?
Who's Peli?
Pelimoto's that's the chick on
She's a
Tatooine.
mechanic.
Mechanic.
She dated a Jawa.
She said she dated a Jawa.
The cool lady.
Yeah, the cool lady that made him the badass.
I think
the badass
I think
ship.
she should have her own show. She should
should
have her
have
own show.
Nah, she can't have her own show. That's too much of her.
Nah, I'd love it.
Her annoying ass can only handle so much.
They should just have like a sitcom star.
You're right, time.
And
That's it.
Yeah, they should have a sitcom starring her, and then you see all the people
Matt,
coming in,
please
getting their
no.
ships fixed. You know, be like, Darth Vader comes in, he's like, "Oh, could you fix my ship, please?" And then the next day, like some other motherfucker comes in. Be
The
great.
Fortress Inquisitorious.
Yes.
That's really what it was called.
The Fortress Inquisitorious. That is the underwater fortress that the Inquisitors are based out of, basically, where Cal goes to at the end of the game. So, I want to see Cal in this show. I have a feeling we could also see Mace Windu in this show. I don't know if they're going to go that far, but I think there's a hint. There's been some hints that we could see Mace Windu in this show.
You got thrown out a goddamn window.
Yeah, he should have
From
survived.
Very far
bro.
up.
Like think like if Anakin, he's going like skydiving, jumping from speeders to speeders, and he's fine. Mace Windu, who I believe was more powerful than Anakin at the time, he should have been able to survive that fall. I think he
Well,
should have been able to come to his senses and
I
landed
said-
on
I-
a speeder or something.
I said this probably in the first episode of the Spoons podcast, was in the High Republic, they do talk about a Jedi power where you use the Force to slow your momentum and come to a nice landing when you're in free fall. So it's not out of a realm, but
not
you
out of
also
the
had
realm.
I mean,
you
like
also had your hand cut off and you're electrocuted by
Yeah,
a
but-
freaking.
I think he would have come to his senses because it's a long fall, and he would have. I'm pretty sure he'd find a way to survive. Because I mean, like Anakin, he literally like fell like hundreds to thousands of feet, and just landed on speeders like it was nothing, And
that leads me to another question: who saved Grogu?
Yeah,
Boba.
maybe it was Mace.
Boba.
I've seen Boba.
Boba.
I've seen Mace. I've seen R2.
R2. Interesting.
I want to think it was R2. Because that would also be very easily explained for how it couldn't have been Luke that saved Grogu. Luke was still in the womb when Order 66 happened. Oh, you're kidding. Okay, I was like, wait. I don't know if it was R2 with a blaster even. I think R2 snuck his ass.
He had to be in the building because he was in Anakin's Starfighter when he went to Mustafar.
I think I agree with
So
you.
he was in the building.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I think he snuck his happy ass in there, and I think he saw a child terrified, and I think he put him in his chest compartment that we know he has, his stomach compartment thing that he has, and I think what looks like, because we saw that flashback scene, right, with which, by the way, the first ever live action clone troopers in that scene. All the clone troopers in the prequel trilogy were all CG. So that was in the flashback, the Grogu flashback scene in episode 6 was the first ever live action clone troopers we've ever seen. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So just to kind of poo-poo on this whole R2 thing, if he was there, wouldn't he have known that Anakin was there?
Yeah,
And seen what Anakin was doing?
I think he did.
So why would he willingly go with him to Mustafar to continue to do what he's supposed to do?
Well, what's he doing? What would he do? He's a astromech, and Anakin. He just saw Anakin massacre the Jedi Temple, or at least was aware he massacred the Jedi Temple. I think R2 goes in, saves who he can, and then there's that scene afterwards where Anakin shows up at Padme's at their home. And you can easily explain this where, like, C-3PO walks over to R2 and R2 says something to him and C-3PO's like, shh, not so loud. Like, R2 could have been, did you know what that motherfucker just did? Like, he just killed 100 people. I just watched him murder children.
As much as I would like it to be R2, because R2 is the badass #1 awesome character in Star Wars.
R4. R4 gang.
No, I think it was a bounty hunter, either Boba or Cad Bane.
See, and it's like
Cad Bane.
The other reason why I would have loved for I want it to be R2 so bad is because that would also be really cool to explain why like R2 seemed incredibly excited to see Grogu at the end of Mando season 2.
But he could also have known him.
Also, yeah, because he would have been around. But also at the same time, it's like saved him. And then Luke, obviously, I mean, the one little tease that I saw is the one thing George Lucas said. His favorite bit was the reason why R2 always followed Luke whenever Luke said to stay with the ship. He never listened to him, is because of what happened in the prequel stories. Every time Anakin told him to stay with the ship, something bad happened. Like every single time. And the last time he said it to him, he never came back. The last words Anakin said to R2 were "Stay with the ship."
It's retconning. It's a little bit of retconning.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean,
It's kind of like saying that the guy with the white beard in Return of the Jedi is Rex.
in a sense, it's like a soft reboot retcon type thing. So, I want to address what you're saying in chat, Dink. So, I think I agree with you. Mace was the only Jedi, I think, at the time who used both the dark side and the light side.
And he straight up beat Palpatine.
Yeah, he beat him, like, one-on-one. Because the other two didn't do shit.
Or did Palp let him?
No, I don't think he let him. I'm pretty sure George Lucas actually stated Mace Windu, like, unequivocally beat him. And then it's like Anakin saved his ass. But, like, because, I mean, you saw it. Like, he was using his lightning, and then he was deteriorating, and he was just going to all keep blocking, and then he was just going to chop his head off. Like, but, like, I think...
Palps let him.
Well, I mean, he had him cornered. Like, what does Windu... what is, you know...
I think I agree with you, Dink. I think I can see where Coach and Mav are coming from. And I thought that for the longest time, but the more I watch it, the more I'm like, nah,
George
man,
Lucas
I think
literally,
Mace beat him.
he literally said that Mace beat him. Like that, like you could Google it. He literally said Mace beat him.
What a
and
God, man! Wow, that is just there's just so many possibilities with these fights that you can just go back and look at. Like I look at that fight in general, like the ongoing discussion. Yeah, is like, yes, George Lucas said this, so based on George Lucas's opinion, and he's obviously the creator of the fucking thing, but it's like he still does come out and say it's up to everybody to decide what their version of Star Wars is. And if you think Palps let him win, you wouldn't technically be wrong.
I don't think Palps was as I think Palps obviously ended up being the most powerful user in the galaxy, but I don't think at that time he was. I think in like the original trilogy, he was far more powerful than,
I don't even think
at that time.
I don't even think he was still as powerful as people think he was in the original trilogy. Vader could have killed him anytime he wanted.
Yeah.
Vader
but
was...
I think Yoda could have beaten him too if it wasn't for all those obstacles in the way. He kind of just gave up and just was like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, because he literally straight up in lightsaber combat, they were pretty much evenly matched.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Force, you know, Yoda literally overpowered him, but because he's smaller than Palps, he flew farther away, like a little rag doll. And then Palps had the high ground, and so, you know, because Yoda's really wise, he's not gonna pull an Anakin and, you know, try and mess with the high ground, you know.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the one thing I look at too is when you look at these fights and stuff in general, because everyone's talking about the whole, what are we going to see in terms of the greatest rematch of the century between Obi-Wan and Vader? Because people are saying it's gonna be Rogue One level Vader in this show.
It better be.
I hope so. He's supposed to be so powerful.
I don't think it will
be. He's supposed to be in his late 20s with all the mechanical enhancements. Obi-Wan's probably at the beginning of heightening his powers. So at the end of episode 3, before as Anakin turned to the dark side, George Lucas stated they are like level 10s. They match each other kind of very evenly. But Obi-Wan's 15 years older and Anakin's like 20. So the ability of him to shoot up was greater than Obi-Wan's. So when they're evenly matched. I'd like to see where they're matched now, to the point of, does Obi-Wan choose not to destroy Vader during this series because he's got to worry about Luke?
Mm-hmm.
He could go and end him at a certain point, but hypothetically, say he's fighting Vader on Tatooine, and he sees the Inquisitors going for the Lars Homestead. He can either end Vader or go protect Luke.
Mm-hmm. I think so I agree with you. There have been so many different reports, like is Vader going to be at the height of his ability? Is Obi-Wan going to be at the height of his ability? the one that I read that seems to have the most like backing per sources, again, I don't know if it's true or not, is Obi-Wan's gonna body Vader in this fight. Like, it's not gonna be like Maul-esque one shot. But it's gonna be he's gonna mop the floor with Vader, and he's gonna basically embarrass him. Like, it'll be a fight, but he's gonna embarrass him in terms of force ability. And the reason, and from what a lot of people have been saying, is they're gonna try and make what he said in Rogue One, in A New Hope, make sense.
He should not have come back.
But also when you left, I was but the learner, but now I am the master. I think from what I've been reading from what I've seen, Vader is going to be. He's going to be kind of at a stall because he's going to be dealing with the Inquisitors. He's going to be dealing with the Emperor. He's going to have all this stuff, but at the same time, over the course of these, because this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, he's going to be, in this time, he's still trying to train, and he's going through the emotional loss still of Padme. Like, he's still struggling with that. Basically, he's going to be an emotional mess. Like, he's not at the height of his power until Rogue One level, is what people are saying. Like, him in New Hope is height of his power. And because that was when Rogue One took place. Rogue One was right before A New Hope. That's the height of his power. So basically people are saying he's still trying to get to that point. Obi-Wan has spent the last 10 years in isolation with nobody to keep him company but Qui-Gon and Yoda. Or not Yoda, Qui-Gon. Just Qui-Gon. I forgot Yoda's not dead yet. But just Qui-Gon. So he's been training for 10 years to heighten his abilities, and he would have already bodied Maul at this point. So we know he's at the height of his abilities. So basically, from what I'm hearing, is he's going to body Vader, and basically show Vader he's still better than him. But I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't know if it's going to take place on Tatooine, if it's going to take place on Mustafar. Because I know we're apparently going to see Mustafar. We're going to see Alderaan.
But I mean, you're doing a disservice if you don't check into the major locations. Alderaan, Mustafar, Tatooine.
We've never seen Alderaan except for the one shot in 3.
Coruscant.
I'd like to go back to Coruscant. I want to go back to Coruscant.
I would like to see McDermott back too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I cannot wait for this show. It's my most anticipated show.
But you know what? What gets me excited for is you're still in that original trilogy time, that gruffy kind of scruffy era of Empire, and you're gonna get this. Oh, you're gonna get Obi-Wan, and then you're gonna get Andor. All this year. So it's going to be based off of the same basic timeline of where everybody is. And I just think that I would not be surprised if you see Andor show up with Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I forgot about his show. His show's going to be dope, too.
He goes there to talk to Obi-Wan about somebody, you know?
Yeah, right. Maybe he's the one who delivers the message to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, all I know is, I don't know if you saw my TikTok of the Vader video. I know Dink did. He had made a comment about it. I want something like that. Maybe not in this show, but what I hope this show does is open the door for a Vader show where we can see Vader at the height of his abilities hunting down rogue Jedi. But also, we see...
Yes and no.
Evil, dark, super ultra mega powerful Vader hunting down and just destroying Jedi, and at the same time we're getting the emotionally broken, sobbing, breaking down over the loss of Padme. That could be a complete emotional gripper of a show.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole Yoda thing, understanding his history, his livelihood. I don't think it's something that you want to dive too much into, because you'll get in the same aspect of the trolls that hate, well, you're taking what made Boba great away from him and all this other shit. Like, I would be afraid that they are going to do something to where what I have seen with my eyes in what I have is badass. You don't need to fuck with it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need it. There is a history with Boba that we didn't know. You can screw with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's an aspect of, we know Vader. We know his story. We know his background. It's not a Legends bullshit. It's on film. And to mess with that, I don't know if we want to do that and just kind of leave it and have little pops like in Rogue One. Just him coming in and going, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Bye. See you later.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, yeah. So, Star Wars is Star Wars, man. I'm loving where it's going. Dink, I agree with you when you said you're excited about the direction of Star Wars. The announced trilogy that they're apparently considering has me a bit concerned, just because I don't know if I'm ready for more Rey. Yeah, it depends on who's running it. Who's in charge of it. It just don't put the wrong people in charge. He's great. He's the creative direction. He is stories. And the reason why I'm not thrilled for it yet is because he hasn't said anything about it. So that's why I'm waiting. If he comes out and says we're gonna do another trilogy of movies and it'll be centered around Rey, if he says it, if he comes out and says it, I'll be like, okay, I trust you. I don't know how I feel about it, but I trust you.
Like I would trust Filoni and what's his face.
Yeah.
Like, improve on what was messed up. Yeah. Do I think 7's good? 8 is 8, but no, 9 was a very good try to band-aid, and I think in the right hands you could fix a lot of that afterwards.
I should do an X-Men Days of
Future Past. Let's go back in time.
Fix
and
everything.
Ruin it.
I love X-Men. Days of Future Past was such a good movie.
They should bring Hugh Jackman into Star Wars.
Star Wars.
He should become Darth somebody.
He should be his Wolverine character, but instead of the adamantium claws, they should be lightsabers.
Oh. It's just like, do you imagine Hugh Jackman, spewing lightning, bro?
Doing his famous Wolverine scream.
Yeah, just like, and he's like Star Killer and like freaking shit starts disintegrating around.
What you just did looked like your O face, your orgasm face.
How do you know that?
All right, guys. All right. Dink.
All right, that's a podcast for tonight.
Dink. Right here. What do you have going on this weekend?
This weekend we're gonna be doing some Fall Guys. We're gonna be doing some Fortnite.
Ooh.
Right now?
Yeah.
Did I hear the Fortnite?
Yes, you heard correctly. We're gonna be playing some Fortnite, baby. I'm excited.
Good. All right. Stream times and what day?
Hold up.
He's pulling it up. Give him a sec, chat.
I gotta look at my schedule. Have you seen his schedule? He put it up on his stream the other day. My God, I've never seen so many colors in my life.
I'm a scheduling master, bro. If I didn't have that, I would actually literally not function as a human being. It's kind of ridiculous. It's actually, yeah, it's crazy. All right, but yeah, anyway, we got, literally Fortnite. And, Fortnite on Saturday. Actually, for Sunday, hold up, I don't have anything planned. We didn't plan a Sunday stream, so you know what? I'm going to surprise you guys.
Ooh, surprise!
Yeah, maybe it'll probably just be Fall Guys. We'll probably just do it. Coach Swimsuit. Everything will be.
That would be a surprise.
This weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 12 p.m. EST. Fall Guys, Fortnite, and maybe a third game possibly. We'll see.
All right. Twitch.tv/Dinkalicious. Go drop him a follow if you guys don't already. Tune into his streams this weekend. Coach, what do you got going on?
Let's see. Starting Saturday at 9:30ish, depending on when I get up, probably 9:30. We're going to be starting the lovely world of Borderlands 3.
All right.
So if you're around, Coach_Vader Twitch TV, you know where it's at. We're going to be diving into that. I have been playing it. I like it. I love the artistic styling of the game. The storyline looks pretty good. We're going to be playing that Saturday. And if I am that much into it, I'll play it again Sunday. But if not, we'll do a community type of Sunday. I don't know what that will be yet. But 1:30 p.m. Sunday, we'll come up, hang out, and goof off.
All right. All right. You guys hear
Check
that?
out my TikTok.
Borderlands.
Let's go.
Yes, go check out Coach's TikToks. Go check out Dink's TikToks. Dink just started TikToking. He's throwing them out like he's dropping them out like a Catholic rabbit. It's crazy.
I read him.
Oh fuck, that's the wrong TikTok.
So-
Don't click on that. That's the fake.
That's the fake Dinkalicious.
Hold on. Let me get the one with the underscore.
Beef, what's up, man? Guys,
There we go.
I will keep you guys posted
Jesus.
about stream
Dink, I
tomorrow.
don't have 32 anymore, bro.
Oh shit. Let's have it.
Coach_Vader.
Oh my god.
I will keep you guys posted on plans for stream tomorrow. My wife and I are going to see The Batman. We are going to be seeing The Batman tomorrow. I may be going to the doctor tomorrow morning, so I may not be streaming tomorrow, but I will keep you guys posted, so you guys make sure you tune into the Discord for that. I love you guys. Guys, we are rating Homie1 Kenobi TV. Drop him all the love. Show him. Should drop him all the love. I love you guys. We will see you in all of our respective streams. Love y'all. Have a good one, guys. Golly, Jesus, this guy, man. This fucking guy.